Hello, my name is Green Tornado. You may not know me, but thank you for clicking on this video. Today I want to talk about something that's very close to my heart. You already know because of the title of this video, The Last of Us. Now, I know I may be way late in the game to talk about this franchise, but this game has a lot to do with my upbringing and love for video games. It also played a very important role in my life. Now I know that's a cliche thing to say, and I know that almost everyone feels that way about this franchise, but I want to talk about this, as it's a game that I keep thinking about. And with the remake coming out in September, I want to talk about it and bring my feelings about The Last of Us. So, without further ado, here's my review of The Last of Us as a franchise. Also, before we start the video, there will be spoilers for The Last of Us, both part 1 and part 2. Please be warned before watching this video. First thing I want to talk about is my relationship with Naughty Dog as a game developer, as I have played many of the games they released, from the very first Uncharted to the Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation 1. I was a huge fan of the Uncharted franchise. Now, I was very young at the time and didn't really care about game developers or anything to do with the companies, or I just really didn't see that side. All I knew was that Uncharted was great, had great campaigns, and the multiplayer was really fun to play with my friends and family. Uncharted is still, in my opinion, an amazing game franchise. Excluding, the more recent iterations of the Uncharted franchise, cough cough, Uncharted 4, and Uncharted movie, that was not great. But nevertheless, we're going to talk about The Last of Us today. My first exposure to The Last of Us was when I was 15 years old. I believe I've just finished my semester of school, and it was summer vacation. My very first exposure to The Last of Us was from the one and only PewDiePie. I watched the first video and immediately felt something with this game. Even though I wasn't playing it, I was still able to feel as though I was. When Joel lost his daughter, the emotion and pain that was felt was something I cannot forget. I connected to these characters almost immediately. So, I begged my father to buy this game for me. And thankfully he was able to. He purchased it for me on the PlayStation 3. From then on, I was on an adventure that I would never forget. Throughout my playthrough, I would experience a vast spectrum of emotions. Now, I was young, but I could pinpoint certain emotions with past experiences. I could feel for Joel and Ellie. The gameplay was simple, but that's not a dig at The Last of Us. When Tess sacrificed her life for Joel and Ellie, it was intense. I was really taken aback by Tess and how she wanted Joel and Ellie to move on and go forward. So, in turn, now Joel and Ellie have to work together in order to survive. Now, it seems like a bad idea at first, but as their journey continues, they both learn to trust and open up. When Ellie saved Joel from the hunter, Joel was furious at the time, claiming that Ellie shouldn't have shot at that hunter. But as they moved on, Joel realized that Ellie could hold her own, and that leads to Joel trusting Ellie with a rifle. Ellie and Joel's relationship from then on continues to progress. From then on, Joel thinks that his brother can take Ellie to the Fireflies. Ellie doesn't know that Joel intends on leaving Ellie until the very end, until that point. Ellie at that point has grown too attached to Joel, as she finds it hard to trust new people. So upon the realization that Joel will leave and leave Ellie with Tommy, Ellie storms off, steals a horse, and goes to an abandoned ranch. From there, Joel both have a really intense argument about it. Joel argues that Tommy can help her, and Tommy knows the Fireflies more better than Joel. You can tell, you can feel for both sides. You can tell that Joel is frustrated and doesn't want to talk about his feelings and just wants the conversation to be over. But then Ellie says something about Joel's daughter, Sarah. And you could just see Joel's reaction as he hasn't gotten over loss, even after 20 years. And Joel becomes increasingly upset as Ellie tries to explain that she has had great loss too, as with her girlfriend Riley, who got infected alongside Ellie. But Joel isn't having it, and insists that Ellie doesn't know what she's talking about. Thankfully, Joel does change his mind and does take Ellie to the university to continue on with their adventure. There, from there, Joel gets injured pretty bad, and it basically leaves Ellie to defend on her own. Now, I do love this game, and I am really excited for the remake that's coming out. And these are kind of just my last words on The Last of Us. I know that there's a lot that I could say, but it's kind of difficult to put into words how this game affects me. But this game really changed some outlooks on my life, and without this game I probably would have done my life, in different ways. And so I just want to say to Naughty Dog and to anyone that worked on the game, honestly, thank you. I do appreciate all the hard work that you did, and I'm really excited to see what's next, and I'm really excited to see what the remake will show, because what the remake will show, as I've heard that with the whole motion capture and with the facial animations, it has improved greatly. And so I'm really excited to see how that changes my outlook, and to see if, per se, that changes any scenes, changes any, any different arguments. I'm really excited to see what's coming out. Pretty much that's my final words. If I were to give it a rating, obviously it's going to be 10 out of 10, but it's a great game. I'm really happy that I got to play it, and I'm really happy that they're making the remake. And now we're going to talk about something that's possibly controversial, but I'm not going to let that affect me. But we'll talk about that when we get to that segment. So here we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about The Last of Us Part 2. Now, I do have conflicting feelings about this game. I'm going to be honest. There are lots of things that are great about this game, and there are things that aren't great about this game. So I guess we can start off with the major thing, that Joel dies. Now, I know people are gonna call me, whatever, and I don't care. But in my opinion, the way Joel dies is very brutal. When I first played this game on launch night at, I guess technically it wouldn't be 9 p.m., but I started it right when I was allowed to. And I played through it all. That whole scene where Joel and Tommy are ambushed by the gang, You know, it's tough. It's a very brutal scene. Now, I'm not saying like, oh, that shouldn't have happened. Like, I don't mind it, but I feel like there could have been a better way. Um, the way that Joel dies is very graphic, and it hurt. Like, it felt like I was watching, you know, like a family member get hurt. Um, Mainly because, you know, not just me, but everyone cares about Joel. Everyone cares about Ellie. And we gotta, you know, care about them. And, you know, it felt really. It was hard. It's difficult to explain how I felt, but all I can remember is that I was kneeling over on the floor, like, when Joel got shot in the knee, it hurt me a lot, because I saw that his entire kneecap is gone, and I'm thinking to myself, wait, what? How is this gonna go down? Because you know that kneecap is gone. How is he gonna get out of this? And unfortunately, he doesn't. Um, and just the way that this game gets you to hate Abby, and then you play over 10 hours as Abby, doesn't make sense to me at all. Doesn't make sense at all. Because it's giving me conflicting feelings, because it's like, are you trying to get me to like this character that killed someone that I really liked in the last game? And for 10 hours you play as her, and all you want to do is go back to Ellie and finish the story and just continue on. But that doesn't mean that this game is bad. This game has done a lot right. The graphics are amazing. The mocap is amazing. The acting is amazing. The voice acting is amazing. The gameplay is top notch. I would say it's one of the best games I've ever played in regards of gameplay wise. Like how your character feels. And now in closing, talking about The Last of Us 2, I would say that it's a pretty difficult way to, you know, top The Last of Us, the original one. So it's just really tough for me to say anything on this game. I love it and I don't love it. Pretty much, I honestly believe that they should have done things a different way. In what way? I don't know. Unfortunately, I can't say that because I'm not a writer, I'm not a director, I don't know game development, but I feel as though it is important for fans and critics to put their opinions out. And you guys can say whatever you want. I don't care, you know. It's just this is how I feel in regards to The Last of Us. Now, in closing to this entire video, what do I think about The Last of Us franchise now? Well, in regards to the remake, I do have really high hopes. Well, we all know it's going to be the same story. So we all know the story's great right now, but it's really going to come in clutch in what the gameplay is and pretty much how the acting and the facial animations, and the mocap, how that's going to change our perspective of this game. And I don't know if they should make a Last of Us Part 3. I don't know where it would go. I can't really see, or I can't see a third game in The Last of Us. There could be like a spin-off of The Last of Us, but I don't know what characters that could be. Maybe have Joel, in like some sort of prequel, within those 20 years of the apocalypse, of the outbreak, and we see kind of like how he went from to being kind of smart about things, and him growing and progressing and meeting Tess, and the fallout with his brother. That's something I would like to see. I am excited also for the HBO series. I did not mention that at all, and I do apologize, but I am really excited to see how that's going to turn out. I have high hopes for that. But I don't believe that there should be a third game. Naughty Dog should do a separate IP, create a brand new one. And that's a lot easier said than done. So this video is kind of getting long, and I'm getting tired of editing this video. So if you reach to the end of this, first of all, thank you. I can't believe that you did this. I appreciate you for listening to me. This is new to me, and so I'm really sorry if my editing is garbage, or voiceover issues. So do let me know in the comments if you have any questions, comments, or anything, if you want to talk about anything. I don't know if I'm gonna do more of these videos. I mean, if per se this becomes popular, I would more than be happy to continue on making little opinions and takes of franchises and games and things like that. So if you like this kind of stuff, let me know. I'll probably make more. So one more time, I do want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to me, listening to my opinions, and I hope we can all be civil in the comments, because there's no reason to hate anyone for having a different opinion or a different outlook than you, because we all go through different things and we all experience different things. So we never know what someone's going through or what someone has been through. So we got to take care of each other, and we can't let hate win. And once more, sorry for thanking you guys, but thank you honestly, and I do appreciate you. So I'm droning on, so I hope you guys have a good day. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I can do this again. Bye.